Well, no previous meetings to call back on. Of course, Jan's only in his second season on the tour. As Milkins lines this one up. He's always been an attacking player. That's his strength. He's made 2 147s in the World Championship qualifiers. Not the Crucible, but the qualifiers. But that's a fine achievement in itself. You just don't get the big money, unfortunately. There you see, he struck that so well. And into the pack. Foul. Well, that, I guess,
Robert Milkins,
he's almost calmer, isn't it? The red's gone in, the break having begun with a fluke.
Tell you what, it was a very good split as well. I always look at the cue ball where that ends up, and it just stayed in the middle of the table. Look at that. That's how to break the bunch. And the fact that the red went in was because he spread them so well. So he was unlucky in the end. And in some ways, it's worse what happened there. Got the fluke when the balls were safe. Opened the balls and knocked the red in. So he's come out of it worse off.
Yeah, that's right. Well, if he hadn't have fluked that red, the only red he could have left was that one that went in. But there, he's gone into the pack and done the hard work for Jan, as it were, splitting the reds, and just going to have to sit and take it, I'm afraid. Unlucky.
That wasn't the best of shots. In no way he played that cannon, and to finish close to the corner pocket like this. Nice recovery. I thought last night he got better and better as the match went on. And he went to the decider against Ryan Day. I just felt that, sort of said to the question was, what has he got here? What has he got to offer when it really matters?
11.
He played the 10 o'clock in the morning session, and, well, it was about 13 hours later, that decider, and he showed us what he had. He made a classical break, where he played about 5 key positional shots that Ronnie O'Sullivan or John Higgins would have been proud of. So it's all there, and he managed to find an extra gear when he needed to. Oh, look at the power he's got there with the rest. Tell you what, that's hard to do.
12. Yellow ball. $15. $20. $21.
Well, again, just even that shot, the way he cued it so crisply. It's going to be hard here. I mean, obviously, it looks like he's going to win the frame, but obviously the reds on the right are not that easy to get on. The one by the black's not on. So he's got a little bit of thinking to do to make it a frame winner.
28.
Speaking about him practicing, I was watching him. He was actually on all the various practice tables that became available all evening. I don't think he needs to practice, but he just wants to be hitting balls, have the cue in his hand.
$34. 35.
He's got a big angle on this, but of course it means he can drop it in slowly and get the cue ball out. But he's still
41.
not really where he meant to be.
$42. $47.
Well, he's not going to get a red and a black here, so he'll need red colour and another red.
$48.
Pink means that Milkins can only tie, and obviously he would need blacks to do that. Oh dear, well, he's brought the black out, he's missed the pink. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Bingtao, 48.
I think he just lacks that little bit of experience there. And while you probably think he's unlucky to knock the black into play, I don't know if he is. Probably a very poor shot, letting the balls run like that. If that pink goes in with the red by the black, then how on earth can he lose the frame? He just lacks that little bit of killer instinct, and occasionally he will be found out by that. I'm not saying it'll be in this frame, but look where all the balls are now. Absolutely open play should the chance come for Rob Milkins.
Milkins' best run last season in the Home Nations was the Welsh Open. He got to the semis there, although it was a disappointment for him, losing 6-0 to Stuart Bingham. And he's got a better safety game than a lot of people appreciate, I think.
Well, he's got a snooker brain, isn't he? He's one of those, he's a little Trudy around the table. He knows all the shots. And he's unlucky not to get in behind the black. Oh, that's a great effort. That would have been frame ball, but now I wonder if his opponent, Rob Milkins, can knock this red in. Still got a squeak here in this frame. He'll need to take a colour with this red. He can't afford to pot it and not be on anything, because then he'll still require a snooker. Oh, that's an outrageous fluke in that same... Well, end of the table, opposite baulk pocket.
Well, the frame started with a Milkins fluke, but this one could be a lot more significant.
Yeah, this is two flukes and a piece of genuine bad luck in this frame for Milkins. He kind of knew this was going to go in early stage. But again, got to pot a colour with this red. Not straightforward.
8.
If he can run this through and get on the yellow, he can win the frame. However, this is a very tough shot on the pink. There's no choice but to play it, trying to finish over where he's looking now. But it's all about this pot. That really is very good. It's a bit like the shot that Cliff Thorburn had on the 147 here. On the yellow, we had to stun run through onto the green. And it's virtually a carbon copy from where it is. He's going to play it the same way, no doubt. He played it a little bit slower.
60.
Played it equally as well as Cliff did.
Of course, that maximum that Thorburn made started with a fluke. Milkins has fluked to red here. A chance to really steal this frame.
19.
But that missed pink from Jan Bingtao was a big moment too, especially free in the black, which was saved by the red.
23.
Well, he's okay. I don't know whether if he could run this twice across to play it plain ball, he would avoid going into the black. Played it really well, very well. What a dramatic frame.
24.
He's polished some good balls, Milkins. He's had a little bit of luck with the fluke as well, but what a lovely shot that is to get on the black, which he's knocked in to take the opening frame, holds his hand up to apologise for the fluke, but he looks in very confident mood here, the Milkman this evening, looking to deliver and reach the semi-finals. He leads Jan Bingtao by 1 frame to 0. A dramatic start. Robert Milkins stealing the opener
Jan Bingtao to break.
on the black with a good clearance, helped by the fluke, to lead Jan Bingtao 1-0. Best of 9 to reach the semi-finals here in Belfast.
Well, this was the black, but it was the apology which he remembered. And actually, Jan Bingtao was more than happy to accept it. All very good spirit played in. He was lucky and unlucky in that frame. I mean, who's to say he wouldn't have won it anyway after the first fluke, and then he knocked in the red when he played a brilliant split. So it was one of them frames where luck played an enormous part.
Well, he's got his snazzy shoes on. I agree with what Ronnie said. I think it's good to see someone show a bit of personality. That's what he wants to wear, so that's what he's won. Certainly stands out.
Thank you.
Well, that looks to be a very small gap there between the yellow and blue. Not much room at all there. It's a very good shot. Very good shot. If he goes in off, he's unlucky. Again, luck playing an uncanny part in this match because he's got, I thought, the perfect contact on that red. The in-off, well, if it happens, there's no way he could predict either way if that's going to drop in or hit the jaw and stay there. Well, that's certainly winning that frame is just what he needed here because he's not played Jan Bingtao before. And he probably already has worked out that he's a very brilliant prospect. He could be the youngest ever winner of a ranking tournament Sunday evening. But he needed to get a good start, and that's what he's done. I might add, though, that Jan might, having not played Milkins, experience anything like that before, because he can be a very tricky opponent, I always used to find. Plays the game in his very own way. He's a bit of a maverick.
Yes, and Rob Milkins looking to climb back up the rankings. He was 13th in the world 4 years ago. He had a real great spell. Beat Neil Robertson at the Crucible. But he's fallen back a little to 34th.
Yeah, and up until this week, that was the only time he'd ever beaten Neil Robertson, but he turned over the Australian again, so a similar sort of form that he's in that he was then.
The World Championship is so big, and he lost in the first round, first qualifying round, so got no money. So that certainly didn't help. Lost to Ursenbacher, actually, at the end of last season. Well, that was a chance, but the little flick on the yellow that Milkins had, again, it just put the cue ball in a slightly more awkward position. He just having a little bit of luck here and there.
I just wonder if he can pot the red to the left middle here and get onto the pink to the right middle. It's all a bit cramped in there. He might be able to play that red instead. But I thought the other one might have just opened up the pink. If Milkins could have played it, he probably would have done so. I guess it wasn't available to him. Can do with the blue on his spot soon. I don't know if he can play on the blue from the red up top left, because that would help him to have a high-scoring ball on his spot.
Four.
He's been a pro now since 1995, and he was saying yesterday
Five.
that he certainly, what happened with Mark King resonated with him last year. Not just the winning, which obviously is great, but what it means to the family, all the people that have supported you for so long. But he's seen Mark do it. He's seen Anthony Hamilton, of course, do it in Germany. And he's on that list of players who certainly could do it, having been around a while. Oh, but can't afford to be missing those.
Robert Milkins, 5.
No, I don't know if he was thinking about getting away out of bulk up the table there.
One.
Well, again, he surely could not have played anything like that. I think he might have tried to play him behind the black. It's not easy, but he's got an obvious shot at potting it. I think he might have played around the back of the red and black there and onto it into the same pocket as the red he took. So the nudge was not planned. I think he was obliged to take it on, not with any other obvious shot.
Bingtao, 1.
But with all the equipment there, the Spider, it's obviously not an easy shot.
One.
Well, the red wiped its feet, as they say. One thing that made a big difference for Milkins, effectively saved his career, was meeting Paul Mount, who, of course, had the facility in Gloucester, the academy, and been managing Robert, and really, really helped his game, helped his confidence, and ultimately helped his results.
You get Armake, keep on putting his hand up when things happen in this match, because he likes the little nudge he got, and he put his arm up to apologise.
9.
It's interesting, some players don't really do that at all because they just see luck as being part of the game. Others like to, as you say, apologise. But of course the apology doesn't stop them going on to trying to win the frame. Neither should it.
16.
Luck in snooker, it's a bit like the ocean for a ship's captain. It's always there, it's unpredictable, it can be frustrating at times, but it's just part of the scene. And you've got to try and make the most of it when it comes your way, and also, and this is the difficult bit, not get too
22.
downhearted when it goes against you.
23. $29. 30. $36. $37. $43.
So 51 in front, still a possible 75 on. Again,
44.
that was a little Jurish. So the red to lead by 59 with 59 on, but of course the colour to follow leaves Bingtao requiring snookers.
51.
Played that nicely.
That's the perfect path into the red that he was looking for. And we're seeing already that if you hadn't seen much of Rob Milkins over the years, he's a good player, instinctive player who knows what he's doing.
Well, Bingtao rather had the first frame stolen from him, and has not had much of a look in this one either.
65. $66. $72. 74.
He's clearly very confident this evening. I think playing Bingtao will suit him. He knows it'll be an open game. That's his game. Looking to reach a 7th career semi-final. The first of them at the Irish Masters 2005 was a big disappointment for Milkins. He was 8-5 up to Matthew Stevens. Lost 9-8.
80.
But he's been in, as I say, plenty since, including the Welsh Open last season. And has a chance now to make a century in this second frame. Fair to say the snooker speeded up a little since this afternoon's first quarter-final.
85. $87. $90. $94. $99.
Well, he's made this break with real panache.
Yeah, the only piece of luck early on was the initial shot on the black, but a brilliant century.
Very nicely done. from Robert Milkins, 105 to the pink. And he extends his lead here in Belfast this evening, looking very confident indeed, and leading Yan Bingtao by 2 frames to 0.
Robert Milkins to break.
Well, he's in bullish mood this evening, is Robert Milkins. He won that very tight first frame on the black, then he made the 105 to win the second. So the pressure on Yan Bingtao to respond in kind. He, of course, reached his first major semi-final quite recently, a few weeks ago in Daqing in China in the International Championship. Beat Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins in that tournament, but the semi-final seemed, if anything, a little bit of a step too far for him. He lost 9-2 to Mark Allen. Well, they could all have finished anywhere, really.
He just hits the balls a little bit too hard occasionally. I know they always look worse when they stay up and they rattle in the jaws. This, went up in the air. Just overhits them a bit. But as you mentioned, he got to a semi-final recently, knocking on the door all the time now. Only a question of time. It really is, I think, in his case. Could it be this weekend? He just bumped into one here already. Milkins looking good. Very streaky player, Rob Milkins, but right now he's on an up rather than a down.
Thank you. 1.
It's a good shot. Again, I think
4.
he may not be best placed on this red. If he can get to sensible striking, he's fine. If he's got to use left-hand side, it just makes the pot more difficult. I think he can just get to the middle of the white.
So. 5. Pink ball.
Marcel Eckhart measuring the pink spot. But it's clearly
11.
impeded by red, so it's going on the black spot.
12.
In his first season last year, he did get into the top 64, which was an achievement because obviously he only had 1 year's points, as everyone else had 2. And he qualified for the Crucible as well, which is a big deal for anybody. He ran Sean Murphy really close, 10-80, came back at him. Sean was in front early on, but he came back at him really well. Ran into Victoria
18.
backstage. She looks after a lot of the Chinese players, including Yan Bingtao. She had 3 players involved today, although one of them was beaten, of course, Li Yuan. The other one is Lu Haishan, who's 2 each at the moment with Chan Peng Fei. She runs the academy in Sheffield, where they play, which is just across the road from the Crucible.
24. 25.
Strange though, if you've ever been to the Crucible when the snooker's not on, I went there to see a play. It was odd. I was looking for Big Frank on the security desk and the press cuttings on the wall and the TV trucks. There was none of that. No snooker tables there. Didn't seem right somehow.
Yes, it sometimes needs reminding what it's actually there for all the rest of the year round, isn't it? You get the feeling this is building up into a very tasty match,
32.
especially if Yan makes a few here. I mean, they're both very attacking players. Speaking to someone early on, asked me what sort of match this would be. I said, I think potentially fast and furious. He always plays quickly. Always has been. Sort of a quick thinker. And Yan is quite similar.
$38. $39.
I don't think the pink spot is still available, which probably suits for now.
45.
Can get the best of reactions, but he's okay for a red in the middle.
$46.
hard to
52.
to really understand and realise that he is still only 17. Yeah, Bingtao seems to play with a lot more maturity than that. Rob Milkins
53.
been professional 5 years when he was born. Been around a long time. They seem to have learnt the game very quickly. Still a few rough edges. I said that yesterday. There has to be. Can't just become an absolute expert overnight, a connoisseur, grandmaster of the game. All these things, certain things come with a little bit of time. This shot looks to have gone wrong. He might have been luckily on the red in the middle. Didn't really get into this. If he is on already, he's very lucky, actually. Not bad. He's got to take, with this pink, one more red. Very good comeback, this. It's been an awkward break.
66, yeah, sure.
Not been easy to make for the Black's been out of commission for the most part.
Top. $67.
He needed it, didn't he? Milkins was looking really confident, and Bingtao had to step up, and that's what he's done. This is turning into a really good match.
$73. $74.
Well, the Black's been out of play for the whole of this break. 9 pinks, a yellow, a big one, a green and a blue. Second blue coming up. So he always say it's hard to make a break when the highest value colour's not in the game. The pink's been on the black spot, though. So I guess that takes that problem away.
80.
Well, he was just 5 years old when Ding Junhui won the 2005 China Open when he was 18, but he's benefited.
86.
He won't remember that, obviously, but he's benefited from that moment, all the investment that's gone into snooker in China. We've seen in this tournament 4 Chinese quarter-finalists, how it's playing off. And this young man is very talented, very dedicated.
Yeah.
But, of course, the important thing is he can do it on the big stage, out there in the middle on the main table, 2-0 down to someone playing well. He stepped up with a great break. He did it last night against Ryan Day in the decider, made 95 to win 4-3.
$94. $95.
It's a bit of a shame, that. I mean, obviously, you can just roll the blue in and get the century, but I don't know how he'll play this, if he's going to play to get on the yellow, around the table off the pink.
Well, he could have just potted the blue, as you say, wanted to clear the lot up. The main thing is he's won the frame in a single scoring visit of 95, so Yan Bingtao pulls one back. High standard here this evening between these two. Robert Milkins now leads 2-1.
Some run to the fans, and some run to their mum. With Coral Connect, when you win online, you can celebrate by running to any Coral shop to collect your cash. Available from App Store and now Google Play. When the fun stops, stop.
It's 2-1 to Robert Milkins here, but Yan Bingtao won that last frame with a 95, which would have been a century had he just rolled the blue in, wanted to play a shot off the pink to get on the yellow. Anyway, he won the frame, and it's 2-1. This is the last frame before the mid-session break.
One.
Well, that's a great pot from Milkins. Took a while to fully commit himself, but when he did, he struck it really sweetly. There's been talk in some quarters about the pockets being a little on the generous side, but they mean the corner pockets, not the middles.
That is a very good shot. He's on that red. He really played that well. He's a real natural. I mean, just a touch of right-hand side. Not swinging the cue wider there. Missing the blue. He's on the red. He would have been delighted to be on.
Five. Twelfth.
Oh.
13.
Well, he's again hand up. Really, he probably didn't play it exactly like this because he's finished A1 on the black. He may be getting a bit of luck, but I tell you, he's really taking it. And I think when you're playing as well as he is clearly doing,
20.
why wouldn't you deserve a little bit of a nudge here or there? I wouldn't be saying that if I was in
21.
Yan Bingtao's seat, but as a neutral, I think he's playing so well. He's not doing a lot wrong sitting there. He's made a sizable break. 95 to take it to 2-1. Milkins is irresistible
28.
tonight. And so it's what you can expect from him on occasions.
$29. $36. $37. $44. $45.
Rob Milkins is going at a very high
50.
pot success rate at the moment. And there it is, evidence 95%. That would beat a lot of players.
51.
He's missed only 3 pots tonight that he's gone for. Player like Milkins will always have his moments, even when he's not been playing well, where he'll just hit a bit of form. And then he becomes a very dangerous player. As I say, he's had a little bit of run tonight, but he's knocking everything else in around it.
Top. 59.
So he's 2 balls away, basically, from
56.
making it 3-1. We've only been going 51 minutes, just about. He's played well. He's really taken the game to his dangerous young opponent.
67.
He's always had that bounce around the table when he's felt confident, like he feels he should be out there. And playing like this, he's absolutely right. 2 snookers required.
72. $73.
Well, if Milkins are going to go out of position, now's not a bad time when the frame's over. Have a wallop at the green here. Oh, no, he's not. It's even better. He's playing the safety shot. He's really playing to win this. 73.
73. And a frame.
Excellent.
Yeah, the first frame was big. He won that with a bit of luck and good clearance to the black. Since then, he's been really superb, actually. Robert Milkins, 105. Bingtao won the third, but that 73 puts Milkins 3-1 up at the interval.
Well, that is more like it. Proper bottle from the Milkman to nail at 105. Back comes Jan Bingtao with a 95. Then the Milkins hits back to make it 3-1. Top drawer snooker at the Waterfront Hall in the quarterfinals of the Northern Ireland Open. Ronnie O'Sullivan with me next.
Skiing North America, live tomorrow night on Eurosport 2 at Lake Louise for the season's first downhill.
Laguna is sometimes referred to as the Monaco of the Red Sea. There was something incredibly magical about this little jewel in the Red Sea that I fell in love. There's an increasing number of young entrepreneurs who can choose where they want to live in the world, and many of them are starting to come here. Perfect day in Laguna for me would be going out, finding some dolphins on a boat, kite surfing if there's wind, and then spending a relaxed evening with some friends.
The winning celebration. Some run to the camera. Some run to the fans, and some run to their mum. With Coral Connect, when you win online, you can celebrate by running to any Coral shop to collect your cash. Available from App Store and now Google Play. When the fun stops, stop.
You know when you wake up, get washed, brush teeth, get breakfast, burn toast, and it feels like there's no time for anything else, even breathing? Okay, Google, tell me the latest news headlines.
Here's the latest news.
It's a little help at home, the Google way.
Friends said house. World said kids. I said Route 66. TV said get famous. Lottery said get lucky. I said get your hands dirty. She said this, he said that. I say a Rona. The new say it a Rona. Do your thing.
Do you know what I hate as well when it arrives is everyone jumping in. I hate that. I like to be the one that...
Let me lay it all out.
There's nothing worse than people go, oh, I'll just have that quick bargee. Oh, I'll just have that.
Love takeaway. Tap the app today at hungryhouse.co.uk. Hungry House.
Night is young in Belfast. The bar and the club's filling up this Friday night, and the Waterfront Hall right bang in the edge of the city centre, and we're lapping up the quarterfinals at the Northern Ireland Open. We already know our first semi-final tomorrow. Young Elliot Slesser, who knocked out Ronnie O'Sullivan. It was a slog today against Lee Yuan. He won the decider at 5-4. We're up to best of 9 now. And Mark Williams, the big favourite for this, made short work of Mike Dunning. Really, really, really good today, the Welsh putting machine. And he won 5-1. Let's drop in quickly on what's on the Eurosport player if you want to watch this instead of our main match this evening. It's going... frame by frame at the moment, 2 each it was at the interval. So Tiang Pang Fei and Liu Ho Shan are deadlocked, and of course both looked after by Victoria Shi, who looks after most of the Chinese players. So it's a strange situation, of course, where they came back in for the mid-session here in the practice room with Ronnie and Neil now join us, and sort of sat together with Victoria, you know, so battling out there, but very much part of the same team here. Well, listen, it has been a bit of a slog today. Neil, you've been in the commentary box for most of it, so sing hosannas for what we just witnessed.
No, I mean, I always thought this was going to be a different game. These two are very attacking players, and we know how well Bingtao has been playing, how good he is, but Rob Milkins is the kind of guy that pops up, and he's very dangerous, isn't he? He played beautifully tonight.
At the moment, he looks like the pockets look like that, and he's queuing so freely, and every time he comes to the table, he feels like he's going to clear the table.
Yeah.
That's a problem for Bingtao. This is where he's got to try and hold that he's like a wild horse out there, and you just got to try and somehow get a foothold in this game.
And you were saying just how instinctive a player Milkins is, but the first frame, Ronnie, was a couple of tales of the unexpected, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's got the blue here. He couldn't have hit this any better. There's always a chance a red can go in, but it's very unlucky. You fancy Bingtao amongst these balls would, possibly win the frame. He was banging control here. He's gone for this pink, thinking like, they can't do no trouble. He's got the pink, the red and the black out. And then, Milkins gets a nice little fluke here.
Evened itself out.
It did. I mean,
Yeah.
Yanni's behind us, but I said in commentary that I thought that the shot he played might come back to haunt him on that pink because he played a clumsy shot of a slightly inexperienced player, and most of the time you get away with it, but sometimes you get your backside kick for making those kind of mistakes.
And then you see here, Milkins apologises as well, after he's played the black. I'm sorry, but I don't think he was that sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't very sincere, was it?
No.
What I had ringing in my ears there was what you guys were saying before the game. You were saying, like, he's an instinctive player who wants to get in a role, he wants to get in a purple patch. And in frame 2, it's exactly what happened, our first century of any quarter-final today, Ronnie.
Yeah, I mean, it's this black here. The idea, this shot is keeping the white in the middle of the table. If you hit that thin, your white goes up to the bulk end. Hit it thick, you're down here by. So he's playing these shots very well. He's getting into these little gaps where he's cannoning balls out. And that's a sign when someone's cueing really well. And the problem that Bingtao has got is that someone like Milkins is under no pressure. Everyone's expecting Bingtao to win, and Milkins knows. He's thinking, I fancy this. So he's out there playing knowing he's got to play well. It's like playing a John Higgins, a Mark Williams or a Selby. They're up for none, and he's just going to be freewheeling it all the way. And it's up to Bingtao to try and sort of, get over that, really.
And maybe this is what we expect at this level, that added pressure, but players responding to it. A 2-0 down there, a 17-year-old with players like Ronnie saying, look, if he's going to be great and needs to win a tournament now, this is a really respectable break, taking all that into account.
Yeah, I mean, he played some great shots. I mean, he's very good at that shot. He can hit the ball hard, and he's got good accuracy. He actually hit one with the rest in this break, which was a tremendous cueing. He's got a real gift, isn't he? But I think he's been a little bit put on the back foot tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's been taken by surprise. He obviously knows Milkins can play, but, he's come out all guns blazing tonight, Milkins, and...
I mean, it's difficult to know how much he's seen of Rob Milkins. Like, as you say, he knows he can play, but having never played him, he might not have really watched him that often, and he's realising that he can manufacture shots of his own. He's one of those players.
I have to say, maybe with the exception of you, actually, when you're loving it, I haven't seen anyone practice as much as... I was here this morning, 10 o'clock, and he was here, eating straight back on the practice table again. Now I haven't seen him not take shots today.
Sometimes I think it's too much. I think there's too much snooker. Sometimes you come away, have a cup of tea, maybe have a half an hour, maybe go to the gym, have a run, read a book, get some nice food down here, but they're on the table all the time. I used to do that a lot, but sometimes you leave your best snooker on the practice table. The idea is to try and save it for the match table, but everyone does it differently.
And Milkins has done that, hasn't he? Out again for the fourth frame. We're getting a high-level boxing match here. Let's look through some of the key moments.
Very good. I mean, obviously, he's been set back by...
This ain't an easy shot, is it, this, Neil? In the middle. It's not an easy shot, that, off the cushion.
No, not an easy shot, and he played the cannon nicely, and here he is opening the balls up. He got lucky here, and he almost wants to make it clear to his opponent he's getting a bit of luck to annoy him. But
when you're cueing well, you get little bits of luck like that, don't you?
Yeah.
He deserves it.
The game opens up for you.
Well, he's 3-1 up in mid-session intervals. Of course, we're going to have a look at the proper stuff with the guys that we have here with the insight. We always have a bit of fun on the table. Now, of course, it's the Alex Higgins Trophy. Of course, an absolute legend this time. But if I said, give me one moment that rocked snooker that involved a Northern Irish player, we're going to that black ball fight, aren't we? We've seen a few this week. So we thought we'd do a little sort of beginner's guide, I think, the black ball fight. Because the thing is, Ronnie, we probably have more of them, rubbish players, like who don't play for a living, because we don't make more than breaks of 10. So we get a lot more closer games. So first of all, you're going to give us a little bit of a masterclass into how you should break off in a black ball fight.
Well, I mean, years ago they used to play the black up and down here, which is, it's not an easy shot, but nowadays you just try and clip the black fin and try and leave the white on the side cushion.
And that would be the go-to shot, would it, in the modern game?
Yeah, I mean, something like that. I mean, you're not putting your opponent in trouble, but the only problem there is you've left them a double.
Yeah.
And a lot of these players now, so if you're playing a double, you're going to aim it for here. If you get it, it's a bonus. But if you miss it, you're leaving it safe.
Okay.
You never want to, murder the frame. So all right, I've missed a double.
But you put it safe.
So you're kind of giving yourself opportunities. All right, I mean, I've hit that a little bit too hard. Yeah. It's up to him to pot it. So maybe you go behind it if you don't fancy the pot.
Yeah.
Try and put a bit of distance between it, going off. Thank you very much. Gutted.
Well, there you go, you see. And that was just in the mid-session interval. Out there, of course, everything's at stake. A place in the semi-final of the Northern Ireland Open for both the players. They're aiming for their first ever ranking title, like everyone apart from Mark Williams here. Huge stakes, huge pressure, huge battle needed. We're back after the break to take this quarter-final to the bitter end.
Can't miss, and then he's a dangerous animal. But if you start to put pressure on him and he starts to miss a few balls, he can then go the other way and get down on himself and start to sabotage his own success. But at the moment, he's on fire. So, you know, you've got to try and get the fire extinguisher out.
That's exactly. He's going to have to do it very quick because Robert Milkins does not have to get on much of a roll here. He just needs 2 more frames of a roll here. He just needs 2 more frames of a roll here. He just needs 2 more frames of a roll here. He just needs 2 more. We'll be live all weekend on Eurosport. We'll be here early afternoon tomorrow.
It's been a high-class match thus far. Rob Milkins has always been a terrific natural talent, hasn't always done himself justice, and he hasn't had much of a season, if truth be told. One round of 16 appearance coming here to Belfast, but my goodness, he's played well so far this evening. That century for 2-0, 73 for 3-1. Jan Bingtao hasn't done much wrong. Break of 95 to cut the deficit to 2-1. But Milkins is one of those players, Joe, that does his damage quickly. So Jan Bingtao is going to have to make a fast start after the interval.
Yeah, it's very much a confidence player, Milkins, and when he gets that bit between his teeth, he takes some stopping. Good to see Jan Bingtao, though, in the quarterfinals. Certainly a star for the future. What a prospect, 17-year-old. Beat Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins in the same tournament. And there are some cracking shoes.
And if they go missing, Joe, I think we can assume we don't need to look much further than your dressing room.
Look at those, they are nice.
I'm not sure they complement the tartan waistcoat, mine, but...
Well, he's given this plenty of thought. He could play to pot this red, but the black's not available. So it's a big risk for a small reward. If he plays it at pace, he could go into the reds. Shot time already, minute and a half. Could lay the cue ball up on the black cushion, but a little afraid of leaving the red onto the middle. Oh, that's a great shot. That really is a great shot and deserved the good kiss.
One.
Beautiful shot this from Jan Bingtao.
They seem to be bringing the best out in one another.
Well, trying to win rather than trying not to lose. Big difference. Now, he'd want to come down for the reds either side of the black to start clearing that area. Played for the pink, and that should get him to that red to the right of the black. Well, not quite got the angle. He could force it, but easier to play for the red to the middle. This time make sure of getting the right side of the red so he can get to the blue.
Just a moment, please.
Oh, he hasn't come back far enough. Maybe he got a kick.
Yeah, the body language suggested that's what he thought.
Yeah, sure.
Let's have another look at this. Oh, yeah, big one.
Yes, and that's took the pace out of the cue ball, so not as straight on this red to the middle as what he wanted. So maybe play for one of the baulk colours this time, and that way
13.
He'd have more chance of getting to these two reds by the black or going into the cluster. Robert Milkins left that long red on. And it took a minute and a half to decide whether to take it or not.
It was worth the wait.
Now the problem is playing for the blue, if he gets straight, there's nothing on. But I think he's just about got the angle. to get to the red above the black.
It's a big frame for Jan, this. The way Milkins is playing, to win 4 on the spin would be a very tough ask.
20.
Yeah, I would have liked a little bit more of an angle on the black to go into the reds. And may still be able to play that shot. So the last loose red. Just wondered if the pink goes. If it does, it's easy
27.
to bust the pack from the pink. Is it hard enough? Oh, the last roll.
28.
The crowd wasn't sure. Neither was he.
Looks pretty calm, doesn't he, the milkman?
Just didn't have the angle to go into the pack with power.
35.
It's a good attempt. But just a safety.
Bingtao. 35.
And finished up with a good safety. Difficult to get back to balk from where the cue ball is. May be forced into taking this long red on. He was forced into it, and what a shot from Milkins there.
Well, that's just too good, isn't it? Young Bingtao has done nothing wrong at all. Played a decent safety.
He played a good safety, too good in fact. It forced Milkins to take that long red on, but what a great shot it was. Landed perfectly onto the black.
When Milkins is playing well, I always think he has a certain swagger around the table, as though he owns the place.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
9.
Never been to a major ranking final. 6 semi-finals.
Oh, he wanted to miss that red and he's kicking himself. Or rather, the floor.
16.
Just caught this red luck. Had it missed the red, it would have been nicely on the red to the left corner. That's what he thought of it. So it's going to have to be this red by the blue. And this is much more difficult. Close, but no cigar.
Milkins, 16.
Relief for Jan Bingtao. Had that gone in, the way Milkins is playing, he might have made something sizable. It was mighty close.
Yes, he's not looking at a plant. He's looking to see if he's going to push a red over this right corner pocket. He's playing the safety, but doesn't want to push a red over the pocket. And that's a good safety. The red that's closest to the left corner is available to play safe off. Better to miss the ball than catch it too thick.
Robert Milkins 4.
Yes, and if Robert puts the ball back in and he catches it thin, he could be in trouble himself. So he decided to play the shot. And it could be tougher from there. I think that was a good choice from Robert Milkins. Had he put it back and he catches it thin, could have been in trouble. This is a much better safety shot. Got to avoid the pink if he comes round the three cushions. Well, he could just push the red forward, the one that's closest to the middle pocket. He could just roll up to it, try and leave the cue ball on the cushion. This is very risky unless he lays the cue ball upon the cushion here. He's took the risk. I'm not sure about that one. He could have left something easier as well. He comes to the table 15 points behind, but this is a good chance. Difficult to win the frame from this visit, but good chance to get a few points back on the board.
He doesn't hang about, that's for sure. Average shot time, just 20 seconds. He's good to watch when he's in full flow.
This time didn't quite come far enough. So taking the red to the middle. That wasn't a good positional shot. Played for the blue. May have to take the yellow. A little nod. Didn't really like that shot.
Yeah, sure.
It did sound a bit clunky, but no problem.
Oh, in fact, it's probably slowed the cue ball down a little to leave him better on this red. Oh, that was close. That was very close.
This is such a big frame now.
He's got such good cue power, Robert Milkins. And that's nicely on this red to the right corner. Nice kiss on the pink. Look at the cue power there. Cue ball nearly took off. Trying to bring more reds into play, which he's managed to do. Well, if he could take... It's a tough black. But I was about to say, if he could take a couple of blacks and a blue, that would leave young Bingtao needing snookers. I think he's got to take the black on.
Would be tough anyway, wouldn't it? But he's slightly hampered as well.
Yep, good shot. He needs a good kiss. That wasn't good. Needed to be the other side of the green. So, probably take this long red on. But that would put him on the black.
This is another tough one, though.
Oh, could have done without hitting that red.
Robert Milkins.
That's pushed the whole game on. What a chance now for young Bingtao. Look at this. It's gone up the cushion, hit the pink, hit the other red, and he's left the red on to the middle with nothing safe. This is a great chance for young Bingtao.
One.
Doesn't want to be snookered behind the blue. It's okay.
6. Seven.
Doing a bit of number crunching.
Yeah, he's going to need the pink.
Which is the only vaguely awkward ball.
Ten. $11.
Well, he looks so cool.
14.
Walking around the table. Ball's going cleanly in the pockets.
16.
Still has the opportunity, of course, to eclipse Ronnie O'Sullivan's record as being the youngest ever ranking titleist.
19. $23.
Key shot then.
This is the one.
28.
This is the one. And that looks okay. Probably an inch or so hard, but you'd still fancy him to pot this. Just needs the pink.
To reduce the arrears to one frame.
Young Mingtao,
And
28.
he's furious that he's missed it.
What a big moment this could be in this match.
Milkins needs both balls.
Yes, and not hard enough there for Milkins. This pink is possible to the right corner, can take the cue ball back to the baulk area, put distance between them. And it's there. Great shot.
Well, he missed a much easier pink than that to left centre, but Milkins' safety could have been better. And what relief for the Chinese. That is a seismic frame. Instead of 4-1, it's 3-2.
Frame 6. Bingtao to break.
And this quarter-final is right back in the balance. What a cracking match it's proving to be. Rob Milkins very close there to taking a 3-frame advantage and put him within 1 of victory. But Bingtao, the second time of asking, potting frame ball pink. And there's just 1 frame between them.
Yes, and what a pink it was. What a difference.
Yep.
Didn't get close to that shot. It was very unfortunate in the last frame. He was taking the penultimate red on. He knocked the safe red off the cushion when he missed it. Very unfortunate. Oh, but he's got another chance. Brave shot, that. From Bingtao. He knew the cue ball was going into the reds.
1.
So, chance. Robert Milkins. Will he go into the reds or play for the loose one? There's a couple of reds he could play for, but it just depends how he's feeling, because that last frame will have hurt. Didn't quite get into the reds as he wanted.
6.
He needed to find the gap between the pink and the reds. They would have opened nicely then. Got to be careful of the double kiss if he was playing the red nearest the pocket.
Robert Milkins, 6.
And that's not the best safety. Cue ball not close enough to the cushion. Wasn't close. And that red could have gone anywhere. I was trying to get the cue ball back into the balk area, out of danger, but there is a red on to the left corner. It could have been a lot easier than this, but a half chance. Yep, right in the middle, and nicely on the pink.
1.
Oh, would you believe it? He just took it for granted that the pink was going to go in.
Just stop doing this, please.
A bit like Mark Williams this afternoon. Just took it for granted that it was going to go in. Concentrated on the white. Here it is again. Just caught that near angle and stayed out. He's going to sit and wait now. Hope young Bingtao doesn't score too many. There is a red at the back of the pack there that will go.
6.
Oh, disappointed with the contact again. Sounded a little kicky. Cue ball hasn't come through as far as he wanted. Wasn't a big kick, but ball still went in, and he's nicely on this red. And that's released another 2 reds. And perfectly onto the blue now. Will he go into the pack of reds? This is the ideal opportunity. He could play for the loose one. Nothing wrong with that either. Again, it's all about choice. Now, I feel sure he'll go into the reds this time. And he needs to play this with left-hand side, so the cue ball goes up towards the blue. If he plays it with right-hand side, the cue ball will check in the middle of the table. Well, he's playing it with topspin and that. I wasn't sure about that, but if he's on the black, he's made the right decision. Black goes just. I think he's okay once the black's respotted. The red is at the right-hand side of the black, so it should go.
$29. $36.
He looks in full control of himself.
37.
He's not rushing, taking his time round the table, not slow, but not fast. It's got a nice rhythm.
$44.
That was a big frame, that last frame.
45.
For young Bingtao and Milkins.
Come on.
See it? He can tie the frame with blacks. He's got the angle to get to the black.
One.
But that's not the best positional shot he's ever played. And I would suggest making sure of the black rather than trying to get to the next red.
This has got to go. So there's the equation.
8.
Big ask for Milkins, but still enough there to force a respot.
Robert Milkins, 8.
What a cracking shot. What a cracking shot that was to win the frame with.
1.
And now he's in the ascendancy. He'll be feeling super confident. I don't know how that hasn't dropped.
52 the difference, only 43 there. So 3 snookers required for Milkins, highly unlikely.
Especially now.
Conceded. Frame.
Yeah, Rob Milkins saying happy to concede. Well, what a seismic frame the 5th frame was. Will that be the difference come the end of this match as Jan Bingtao wins 2 on the spin and we're level pegging at 3-all?
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Get low when the whistle go.
Yeah, and Lou Heishat is at the table with the opportunity to potentially move one up with
Foul,
2 to
yes.
play.
Robert Milkins full. Just sure.
So 2 very tight quarterfinals in progress right now.
Masters? Yep.
Yes, it could come off the right side cushion, land up into the reds. The red next to the pink, or the one below it. Should be okay. Played the two-cushion escape, but that was dangerous with the shred over the right corner. But look where the white has landed. He's covered both reds. And that was very, very fortunate. Well, he may be able to see the reds, but he doesn't want to hit them and come back down the table. He'd leave those two reds on. Surely he's going to come off the left side cushion, land up into the reds. Playing to hit the red near the cushion.
Foul on the miss. Yeah, Bingtao full. Yep.
Rob Milkins has got to stay mentally tough here. If there has been a weakness during his career which has prevented him from having more success, it's that
Clearly,
he has on occasion allowed disappointments to get to him a little too much.
Sometimes it's on this. Yeah, yeah. I moved that way, yeah.
He's still got a great chance of making his 7th ranking semi-final. All to play for. Identical shot.
Yes, the other side of the red this time. But he can't see a red full ball, so he won't be warned. You can probably see the edge of the reds, but as I said, doesn't want to hit them. Send the cue ball back down the table. He could leave the reds on. And this time is hard enough. Well, I hope he hasn't left that red on directly above the black. Because Bingtao, no, it doesn't go.
This is going somewhere. Re-rack. Thank you.
Both players have agreed that was going nowhere. So, a re-rack. And it's as though the last few minutes never happened. Only 4 points between them. So it's still a best of 3. Rob Milkins' pot success is actually superior. 93% from the Milkman, 89% Yan Bingtao. But with the Chinese having won the last 2 frames, you feel as though the momentum is with him at the moment.
Robert Milkins to break.
Yes, anxious looks there from Milkins. Can't see the red down the left side of the table, or not enough of it. But this is dangerous with that red behind the black spot. Managed to miss the red. Now, has Milkins got a similar shot to the left corner? This looks good if it's hard enough. Found the line of the shot. Can just see the red. Played it with a lot of right-hand side on the cue ball to try and check it back down the table and avoid the reds. And a similar scenario, this red to the left corner, too dangerous to take on. Cue ball's going into the black. So maybe a thin safety. Well, that little flick on the brown is the cue ball closer to the cushion, but he could have done without it, really. He's pushed the red towards the corner. Now, can Robert Milkins see this red? Yes, it looks like he can because he's looking for the path that the cue ball's going to take if he takes it on. There's confirmation. You can see enough of it. Still a difficult pot. Oh, so close. Now, what's the damage? Well, he's done well there to screw the cue ball out of that pack and leave himself nicely on the black. A handy couple of kisses as well.
Bingtao's never been ahead in this match. Trailed 2-0 and then 3-1 at the interval.
8.
Very nearly 4-1 down.
Nine.
But it feels as though he's in the ascendancy at the moment.
$16. $17. $24. $25.
Oh, this is his fourth black coming up.
$32. $33.
Five reds, five blacks.
40.
I wonder if he's thinking about maximum.
$41.
Well, I would hope he isn't, to be honest, because the priority has to be victory. Second ranking semi-final this season. And the chance to be a ranking titleist. And the youngest ever at that.
Well, he's the wrong side of this red, so probably play down for the blue now. And as you said, Philip, he could do without that kind of pressure of maximums. Well, if you could just flick the pink here, send the cue ball up towards the blue, you'd release another red and the pink. Yeah, that's good. Nice. Right side of the blue. Brings another red into play and the pink. Nice little touch there. Could so easily have finished touching the pink. And he's given himself choice of reds.
$61.
Could have done without being hampered.
This pink and one more red. He's taken these exceptionally well. stronger and stronger as this match has gone on. And Rob Milkins hasn't been quite the same player since he lost that all-important fifth frame.
"17-year-old and beating the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan, John Higgins,
74.
among others. He's going to be one up with 2 to play.
75.
And he doesn't look panicked in any way, shape or form. In fact, he looks very cool.
His highest break was the 95 to close to 2-1 behind.
81.
Making it look easy.
Touching ball.
Shame, no century, but another ice-cool break of 89, making the most of Rob Milkins' potting error, which left Yang Bingtao in amongst the reds, and he made no mistake. That's 3 frames on the bounce now to lead 4-3.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Another rocket shot, bombed it out. Another rocket shot, bombed it out. Another rocket shot, bombed it out. Another rocket shot. Turn down for what?
There's no space for fear or sorrow. Is it true? Everyone watching. It's truth or dare. Can you feel it? La 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 la. Cause you know I love the players and you love the game. Cause we're young and we're reckless. We'll take this way too far. It'll leave you breathless. Tell you I'm insane. And I'll write your name. Cherry lips, crystal skies. I could show you incredible things. Stolen kisses.
very, very unfortunate not to have.
Second best since losing that fifth frame. What has he got left?
Indeed. What has he got left? Very, very unfortunate not to have. If the black doesn't go, not sure if it's worth the risk. Wait for it. Well, they say fortune favours the brave. Here it is again.
6.
That must have been a plant.
Young Bingtao was moving to get to his feet and then had to slump back in his chair.
7.
Now, can Rob Milkins make that slice of good fortune really pay?
Well, he's got to be positive. He's got to think, get into that pack as soon as possible. If he gets a good angle here on the blue, go into them.
11.
Well, now he can still play for various reds. But if he catches the pink full in the face, again, all about choice. But that's the shot for me. He'd have been very unfortunate not to have been on a colour, on a red. And he is on one. Push the black a little closer to the cushion. Couldn't have struck them any better. And again, a little unfortunate not to be on an easy red. Awkward queuing. Made sure of being on a colour by playing for one of the bought colours. Now the red's nicely spread, but he'd want to get the pink or black back on its spot as soon as possible.
No stranger to final frame deciders this week. Rob Milkins taking the distance by Alfie Burden in the first round, and then Neil Robertson. Oh, he'd love to have a similar scenario this evening.
20.
This time decided to play for the black. And if he can get the black back on its spot, he's got every chance of knocking in a big break. And that looks to be a good angle.
We're going the distance on table 2, by the way. Liu Haoshan and Tian Pengfei, 4 apiece. Of course, we've already had a final frame decider today, and what an epic it was. Elliot Slessor coming through in the end against Li Yuan. This has been altogether brisker.
Well, poor positional shot there from Robert Milkins. He should have been straighter on this red to the right corner. In fact, he should have had choice of 2 reds there. And he's missed it. Now,
Robert Milkins,
what can
36.
young Bingtao do?
Seemed to rush that one a little.
Well, he seems to rush a lot of shots, but normally they go in. Has a red to the left middle, but the cue ball's going into the blue, so he's not going to be sure to be on a colour. You'd expect him to be on one. Looking at the possibility of a plant at the left corner, but with the balls being so far apart, it's not easy. There it is. But it's not set to the pocket, and I don't fancy him for that. Looks like he's playing for it, though. Well, he could take it on and play the cue ball into the baulk area, play for one of the colours into the middle pocket. So that gives him some safety with the shot. But this red to the middle, it's not difficult. It's missable, yeah, but I'd fancy him for the pot there. And it all depends on the cannon to the blue. But he's back to the plant again. I think he's made up his mind. He's going to play it. And he's got it. And he's on a colour. Just. And nothing safe. Well, what a chance for young Bingtao.
Free.
What a talent. What a cool customer.
4.
Yes, it's all about composure from here on in, isn't it? We know he's got the skill to mop up these balls and book his place in the last 4, but there's a lot of pressure out there, and he is only 17.
He's handled the pressure so well, though, so far. Although,
9.
Didn't play that one particularly well. I think he played down for one of the reds to the corner.
10.
Got to keep that cue ball under control. Make things easy. Get that cue ball close to the next shot. So it becomes unmissable. And if he keeps leaving it there like that, he'll win.
15.
Won't miss anything like this. Not with full concentration going.
$16.
Oh. He didn't like that. Played to stun the cue ball to the cushion. And he's finished up straight. Straightish on the black.
Thank you.
Yes. Couldn't do anything about that. The cue ball was coming back into the red.
23.
Good recovery. Played up for one of the walk colours.
24.
And anxious moments for Robert Milkins. This looks good. Put the red to the right corner.
28. $29.
Nice angle on the black to play for any one of the three reds. And hit it. Not happy with that. That was a poor positional shot. The cue ball should have been near to the blue. But as long as he keeps
37.
potting them, that's the main thing. And again, choice of reds to play for. Needs a lot of side on this. And that's not ideal
42.
at all. He's 6 points in front with this tough red to the right corner. Or is he taking it to the left corner? Well, it's another great recovery shot. And what a kiss. He holds his hand up, but he's delighted. And the crowd absolutely loved that one.
Well, he deserved a bit of luck, didn't he? Because it was such a tough cut. And if he'd missed it, chances were he'd be leaving it.
Yes, I don't know if the pink's in the way of coming in and out of balk, so he might screw directly up the table. Pink was in the way. So Robert Milkins will be coming back to the table. 14 points behind. A little bit of side on the cue ball.
Young Bingtao. 50.
So a break of 50, but it wasn't quite as big as he wanted it to be to get him over the winning line. And this match is still in the balance.
So what do you do here? Do you take the red on, win the frame and force the decider?
You made it sound simple.
Yeah. Do you play the safety? The double kiss is on if he plays the safety up and down. It's risky.
It's one of those, isn't it, where if he does play safe and it goes wrong, he'll be kicking himself that he didn't go for the red.
Absolutely. And that's why sometimes it's better to go for it. Which he has done, and he's got it. Is he on a colour, though? He might just be on the blue.
What a tremendous pot that was from Rob Milkins.
What a brave pot. What a brave pot. Look at this. And the cue ball landed nicely on the blue. And the only thing that can thwart him here is brown to blue. Nothing is ever easy, is it? Now, does he play for the blue to the corner or risk playing for it to the left middle?
Needs the brown, the blue and the pink to force a decider.
He's played for it to the corner and he flashes the cue, but that's not bad. Just needs the blue. That's all, because the pink is a gimme. And it's there. We're going to a decider.
What a terrific match this has been. The best quarter-final so far for quality and drama. And it was a wonderful pressure red that Rob Milkins spotted to keep his hopes alive when Yang Bingtao was on the brink of victory. It's 4 frames apiece. A quarter-final that deserves a final frame. What a pot it was from Rob Milkins to keep his hopes alive. Yang Bingtao has played tremendously well from 3-1 down and was so close to closing it out by 5 frames to 3, only for Milkins to come up with that moment of brave inspiration. And so it's all about this single frame for a place in the semi-finals.
What a time to get a good break-off. Good break-off from Robert Milkins. Well, both players have fought so hard. Neither one wanting to lose, trying to win. And that last red that Milkins potted told you the story. I want to win. Now, there could be a chance here. There could be a chance. Or has the cue ball run too far?
That almost imperceptible shake of the head from Rob Milkins suggests the latter.
Wow. close is that? But I don't think he can see enough of it to pot it. Difficult to lay the cue ball up on the black cushion with that red behind the black. Can't roll into the side of the pack. The red to the middle. You may have no choice but to try and leave the cue ball in the jaws of this left corner. Just going to try and catch this well. It took the risk. Lots of side on the cue ball. And he's got a great cue ball, but this red is potable to the right corner. That was a very good shot that he played there. And very unfortunate that he sent a red close to this right corner pocket. But it's not easy. It was never easy. Now, what's left? There's a red to the left corner, but not easy to get to a colour. This could have been so much easier. No attempt at the pot, but not a good safety.
Well, what he wouldn't give to have that one back.
Well, he's hit the blue full ball. He'll be deeply disappointed with this. Didn't hit the red thick enough, and that's why he cannoned the blue. So, first chance goes to Yang Bingtao. Well, hit the angles, but it went in.
One.
Now, if he's fairly straight on the green, he may be able to play for that red just above the black. Can't see what kind of an angle he's got on the green if he can screw the cue ball straight back to the cushion. Well, that looks okay. That looks okay. And that's the red he's played for, but he's a little heavy.
Four.
But at least when he removes this red, the black is free.
Five.
So the red to the left of the pink needs to finish straight on that red. And he needed to finish closer to it.
Eight.
He's straight.
Nine.
And now he's in ideal position. It was a poor safety from Robert Milkins.
16.
That has allowed Yang Bingtao in with this break.
17.
Now he's got the angle to go into them or play for that loose red. Well, I think he just caught them a little bit too thick.
24.
Had he caught them a little bit thinner, the cue ball would have come out for the red in the middle of the table. Just caught it a bit too thick. So, another twist maybe. This is a tough red to take on to the baulk corner or the middle. Well, maybe he played a little bit of both there.
24.
The snooker and the pot. Now, does Milkins take this red on to the right corner?
First and foremost, he'll be relieved not to have lost the match to that poor safety.
Yes, it didn't deserve to lose the match, that safety shot. Cue ball's close. That little shake of the head tells us that he's in a bit of bother. It's an extremely thin shot. If he takes that red to the right of the black, better to miss the ball than catch it too thick. But he's happy with that. Well, that frees the black playing that shot. Very attacking safety.
The longest frame of this match was that all-important fifth one, which lasted a shade over 21 minutes. I just fancy that this one might buck the trend.
That means might be a bit longer. Wait for this. And wait for that. Oh, he's got them both.
I think that's what's known as instant karma. Lucky 1 minute.
Well, how it found its way through the gap of those balls there. And then the cue ball. Again, very close. All these attempts at going so close are a chance to win fractions. And that red dropped in. Every chance there, Milkins. Well, is he having a go at this? He missed one thick, similar to this. Not this time. What a great shot from Bingtao.
One.
And full marks for trying to win the match. Now he could come down for that red to the left of the black. There's the pot success. It's pretty good for both players, especially with the reds at the balls that they've attempted. He's too high. He's too high.
4.
Well, he's definitely going for this red to the left corner. My word, what a tough shot it is. Got to play it with a lot of side to avoid the reds. Yep, good pot. Now if the pink goes, he's on a bonus there.
5.
Nope, doesn't go. So tough yellow or brown. One thing's for sure, you can bet your life he's going for it. Now, what's the damage? Well, it's not good for Bingtao. I don't think he'll lose the frame of match from this leave, but chance to get right back in the game for Milkins.
One.
And that started with a difficult red. That wasn't easy.
How many snookers does Tian need now, guys?
Three.
She has three snookers. Yeah.
And the kiss didn't go according to plan. I thought he could have just dropped it in dead weight, finished on the black or the pink into the middle. But bringing the blue into play, he's going to need that.
Robert Milkins 4.
Just 21 the difference. Still 75 on the table and a couple of reds safe.
Now, another chance maybe. Can he see it? Can he see the red? Oh, just. He's going to be on the blue.
1.
So he gets another chance. Robert Milkins.
5.
Big moments for both these players.
Six.
Well, a chance here to split those two reds. He's going to need them. to win this frame and match. And if he hits them, he'll be on the red just above the black. It all depends if he's got the angle to hit those two reds. Mustn't have had the angle. Feel sure he would have split them.
13. 14.
Has he got it this time? He did. And that has split beautifully. He needs one good shot down the cushion. And he's got a great chance then. He couldn't have played that shot any better. He found the gap between the reds. But this is not a gimme.
It certainly isn't, not with the pressure on these guys now. Anything is missable.
No. Yeah, foaming with himself.
Milkins.
But at least,
21.
because of how he missed it, it's run safe. Well, he left it over the pocket.
Yeah, missed it by a long way, and that's why it's run safe.
Well, it couldn't be tighter, could it? 4 frames all, 29 points all, 51 remaining. Semi-final here in Belfast at stake.
Played it with a lot of right-hand side on the cue ball. And that was a good shot to say he was close to the cushion. Tried to get the cue ball in behind the brown and yellow. Yeah, and a good reply. Now, will he try to cut this red in? He could play the same shot he's just played with a lot of right-hand side on the cue ball. Try and get that cue ball in behind the brown and the yellow there. And this looks pretty good. Has it just come out?
Prolonged applause on table 2, and we know our third semi-finalist, Liu Haoshan, has come through in a final frame decider against Tian Pengfei.
And he's pushed the red over the corner. Another chance for Robert Milkins. Got to finish high on the black. And that's not good.
1.
That's terrible, in fact. He'll be absolutely devastated with that shot. He could have got anywhere off that red. In fact, to be sure, he could have played down for the blue.
Hit it full ball.
Yeah, he played for the black. If he'd have given himself chance of the blue or pink, he'd have been guaranteed to being able to get back to the reds. Took the risk on the in-off and just a little bit of desperation, maybe, because he knew the cue ball was going close to the pocket.
6. Robert Milkins 6.
This match is still on a knife edge. 3 semi-finalists down, 1 to go.
A little harder. Both with the white on and the red. And this looks pretty good as well. Oh, that's an excellent safety. Tap on the table from his very sporting opponent, young Bingtao.
Yes, it's one thing applauding a safety shot in the first or second or third frame, but in a final frame decider, down to the last few balls, excellent sportsmanship.
Doesn't deserve to be a loser of this match. They both tried their hardest to win. Played some great safety, potted some fantastic balls under pressure. Great TV. Oh, he's just caught it. What a great shot from young Bingtao, and he might have the snooker. He has. Oh, how many more twists in this match?
Well, it was a great hit, but talk about the cherry on top of the cake. The pendulum swings once more.
Doesn't want to come past it, and he's okay. He survived that shot. But it's a big target, brown and yellow. But make sure of the red. Make sure it's safe. The easy way is to go off the right side of the red, but he might leave the red on. Leave the red where it is. And send the cue ball down the table. And this looks good. That's another excellent safety.
Not only the direction, but the strength again. Rob Milkins glued to the cushion.
And you talk about fractions, and it's fractions. He's snookered by a fraction.
It's been a slow burner this quarterfinals day, but it's certainly coming to the boil now.
Brilliant shot. Brilliant shot. Lots of bottom into the right side cushion to create the angle to check the cue ball for the red. What a great shot. And he's unfortunate if he's left the potting angle to this red. Yep, good shot. And he was unfortunate there. Robert Milkins.
1.
So it's going to come down to this last red under the cushion. Couldn't be any closer. 4 each. 35 plays 36. And no intentions of playing for the red. He played to leave himself there so he could play the snooker.
7.
Leave the cue ball under cushion and send that red down the table. Hopefully cover it with the pink and blue. Is it hard enough?
And Bingtao 7.
He's done it.
Rob Milkins' turn to sportingly tap the table. Critical moments for both of these players.
Well, that's another good shot. Had to make the cue ball swerve by the brown, but he's left a chance for Yang Bingtao. Probably the biggest shot of his career, this. If he can pot this, land on a colour, he's in the semi-final. There goes the red. What a cool customer this man is. And a good kiss on the blue leaves him nicely on the green. He's fought hard. There's no doubt about that.
And he's played some great stuff as well.
Well, it was a snooker. That's cost him this match. Hit the snooker and left the red on. Wasn't easy.
Six.
Green, brown, blue. And Yan Bingtao is in his second ranking semi-final.
Nine.
Well, his heart will be beating a mile a minute.
Well, he's forcing himself to walk slower, Philip.
13.
He shakes his head because he's the wrong side of the blue. But he only needs the blue.
And he's got the blue. What a match this has been.
18.
What entertainment for the crowd and for the Eurosport audience. That's no consolation to Rob Milkins, who's played his part in an absolute cracker. So 19 the difference. It's 1 snooker to tie.
Yes, and the black in the worst possible position it could be for snookers. Well, he's got a half chance here, I suppose, if he can miss the double kiss. Send the pink down the table over the brown spot. And the cue ball under the cushion. Just past the black spot. This is the shot. Not far away. No, couldn't do this. It has done. It's the wrong man who's getting the snookers.
So often the way. That might just be the end.
Yep, chance here. No danger of the enough.
What a match. What a battle. And history still a distinct possibility here in Belfast at the Northern Ireland Open as Jan Bingtao, by a whisker, claims a place in the semi-finals and remains on course to become the youngest ranking titleist in the history of this great game. Bad luck for Rob Milkins. He played his part in a classic, but it's Jan by 5-4.
You're absolutely right. From 3-1 down to 5-4 winner, and I'd say the best game of the tournament so far. Definitely the most entertaining. 17-year-old with massive talent and enough bottle too, but no milk today, please. Although Rob Milkins deserves so much credit for playing his part in that match. There's your semi-final lineup of the 2017 Northern Ireland Masters, and it's the battle of the 17-year-old that everyone's tipping against the 19-year-old that many people forgot about. Liu Hoshan has went through tonight also in 9 frames against Tian Pengfei, an all-Chinese semi-final tomorrow night, and tomorrow afternoon, 12:45, Elliot Slesser against Mark Williams on the trail of his 19th ranking title. It means, before, there's so much to talk about Ronnie O'Sullivan, but it means so much to Jan Bingtao, and it was good to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was under pressure tonight because obviously he was the favourite.